Hello all, welcome to another session in this course. This session is a continuation of the previous session where I covered the part 8 of HTML basics. Now we are in the part 9. As part of this part 9 of the HTML basics, I am going to start with the first topic, that is creating text box field followed by creating the password field and creating a button, radio button, checkbox and so on. Okay. So let's get started with this part 9 of the HTML basics right now. Okay. So if you want to create a text box field using HTML, first of all, why we are learning this? Why we have to learn how to create a text box field with help of HTML? Because tomorrow you are going to use Playwright automation tool. Okay, you are going to use Playwright automation tool to automate this text box field. So if you want to automate it in a better way, if you have the knowledge of the HTML or writing the HTML code using which you can create the text box field, it will be more helpful. That is the reason we are covering this in this session. So which tag we have to use in HTML to create this text box field? We have to use something known as input tag. Using this input tag name, you not only can create a text box field, okay, with the help of this input tag, we can not only create text box field with the help of HTML, but we can also create a password field. We can also create a button. We can also create a radio button. Okay, we can also create a radio button and we can also create a checkbox field. All these items can be created with the help of the same input tag name, but by modifying the one attribute, okay? With the help of modifying the attribute. You see, text box field, password field, button, radio button, checkbox field. The same tag name can be used to create such kind of different UL elements like text box field, password field, button, radio button, checkbox field. But how to differ for each and every item? The same tag name, but its attribute will change. Type is equal to, okay? Type attribute we have to use. In this input tag name, we have to use a type attribute. For text box field, type should be text. We have to give the type as text. For password field, type should be given as password. For button, type should be given as button. For radio button, type should be given as radio. For checkbox field, type should be given as checkbox. These are the different types, but the tag name is same. Let me practically demonstrate this for you. So for that, let me clear this HTML code and here let me write the input tag. I'll just roughly at a high level cover you how to create the different fields. Okay, input. If you give the simple input also, okay, if you give the simple input, you see input tag is kind of different, guys, where it's optional to put the ending tag. It's not compulsory to put the input ending tag, guys. Okay. It's optional, guys. Okay. It's optional whether you want to put the input slash input or not. If normal input is also fine. Okay. It acts like a self-closing tag. And also, if you want to put a ending tag also, it's possible. Okay. It has dual nature or dual kind of way of using it is there. Okay. It can act like a starting and ending tag. And you can also use this as a self-closing tag. For now, I'm using it as a self-closing tag. And here input type is equal to text. If I write and save this, if I say input type is equal to text and save this, go to the browser and open the browser and in the browser you browse the file, HTML file, okay, where I am writing the HTML code. You see a text box field came. I can type my name here, okay. I can type my name into this text box field. And one more thing, guys, it's not compulsory, it's optional, guys, whether you want to put type is equal to text or not. By default, if you create an input tag and if you don't provide any type attribute also, by default is a text box field only. Okay. By default type is text only. Okay. Just go here and refresh here and type it here. Okay. Still text only. Next one is input type is equal to text. Just write input type is equal to text and save this and go here and refresh. I can type my name here, you see, without any problem. Okay. This type is equal to text is, optional, whether you want to give it or not. Now I'm going to create. Okay, I'm going to create another input tag. Type is equal to, I'll just give password. If I give the input tag with that by saying the type is equal to password, in that case, if I go and refresh here, two fields came here. This field is, you can type the text. In this field, whatever you type, that will not be visible. Okay, the text will be toggled against its visibility. So this is a password field. This is a feature of the password field. Now I'm going to create one more, that is input type is equal to, if I say button, this will create a button, guys. Just save this and go here and refresh. A button will be created. You see button came. The text box field, this is a password field. Now you got a button. Now what if, you see this button is there, but it doesn't have any label. If you want to give a label here, you have to use one attribute known as value attribute. Value is equal to, let's say, login button. Okay. Now save this and go here and refresh. You see login button. So username, let's say, password, let's say, and then login button. Like that you can create. Okay. Now here, somewhere here I'll use another input tag. Type is equal to, if I say radio. Okay. If I say radio, a radio button will be created, guys. Save this. Go here and refresh. You see you got a radio button here. Okay. Select the radio button. I'll remove this other types, okay? Other items. Only radio button I'll have for now. Just save this and refresh here. Let's focus on the radio button. Only one radio button is there. Now I would like to create multiple radio buttons. Just keep writing multiple radio buttons here. 4 radio buttons I created. Save this. Go here and refresh. We got the 4 radio buttons. But I'm able to select all the 4 radio buttons. On the top of that, this radio button doesn't have any label. Okay? What you are selecting, you don't know. So what you have to do here is, I told you in the beginning, right? Input tag, optionally we can have the closing tag also. It's not compulsory to provide the closing tag of input tag. Just copy this and just paste it here. 1 2 3 4. Just save this and here you can give the label, guys. Car, bike, then bus, okay, then train, like the different options you give. Save and refresh. Here you see the labels of this radio buttons are coming. Whatever the text I'm providing between the starting and ending input tags is appearing here. Now I can select whatever I want. For example, I want to select bus. I want to select car. But still I'm able to select multiple options. You see, I can select car, I can select bike, I can select bus, I can select train. But radio buttons should not work like this. Only one of these 4 radio buttons we should be able to select, guys. Okay. One of these 4 radio buttons I should be able to select. If I want to group all these radio buttons into a single group, then here I need to add one attribute known as name attribute. And here, just give something, vehicle or something. Just give a common name. Common name attribute you have to provide. Name is equal to vehicle. Name is equal to vehicle. All these radio buttons have the same name. All these radio buttons have the same name. In that case, what will happen? Now, all these 4 radio buttons will be grouped into one set. Now, you can select only one at a time. You see, if you select other one, the previous selection is going off. Only one out of these 4 radio buttons can be selected at a time. You cannot select all these 4 radio buttons. That's not the behavior of the radio buttons, right? That's not the behavior of the radio buttons. So you can use the input tag to create the radio buttons. Okay, that's one thing. I showed you how to create the text box field with the help of input tag. Type is equal text. It's optional actually. If you give or not, it will create the text box field. And if you specify type is equal to password, if you specify type is equal to password, it will create a password field. It will create a password field. Now, third one is creating a button. If you give the type as button, okay, it will become a button and the label of the button won't be there. If you want to get the label of the button, you have to use a value attribute. Now, if you want to create a radio button, input type is equal to radio, input type is equal to radio, input type is equal to radio, and if you want the label, you can optionally use a closing input tag. And if you have multiple radio buttons and you want to group them into a single set, then you have to use the name attribute to group them. Just now I showed you, right? Now we are going to see the last type of field. Using the input tag, we can create this kind of checkbox fields also. So here instead of radio, I'll change it to checkbox. Checkbox. Like this you write checkbox. Checkbox, 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 checkbox. Okay. Now these 4 options need to be there. Save this. Go here and refresh the page. And instead of the radio buttons, now you got the checkbox fields. Unlike, even though you gave the same name attribute here with the same name attribute value, even though you have grouped all these checkbox fields as a single entity, but still you can select multiple options. You can select or deselect. You can select or deselect the any number of radio checkbox fields, even though they are part of the same group. Unlike radio buttons, checkbox fields will behave in a different way, but here type should be checkbox. Remaining all are same. The labels are same. Okay. Type should be checkbox. You can group them using the name attribute and all those stuff. So hope guys you understood. Hope guys you understood how to create the text box field, password field, button, radio button, and checkbox field with the help of input tag. in HTML in this session. So this is part 9 of HTML basics. That's all for this session, guys. In the next session, which is part 10, I'm going to cover something like drop-down fields and multi-selection box field or list box fields. Okay. These are very important because in the upcoming sessions, we are going to use Playwright automation tool to automate these drop-down fields and multi-selection or list box fields. So that's the reason I am covering this HTML basics for you in this session. Okay. So anyhow, this will be covered in the next part, that is part 10. Now, ninth part of the HTML basics is completed. Let's go to the 10th part in the next session. So that's all for this session. See you in the next session. Thank you. Bye bye.